Okay, Google, set a timer for 7 minutes.
Got it. 7 minutes. And that's starting now.
Today is day 43 of consistency, August 19th. This morning I weighed in at 274.9. So we are down about, I think, 3 pounds from yesterday. Obviously, I am on a liquid fast. I am on day 2 of the liquid fast. I would say today I didn't really have any hunger, didn't really think about it. I do also take Adderall for work, and that also would like curb your appetite. Um, and I'm not necessarily taking it to help me on the fast. The last time I did the fast, I did not take any. I just needed to help me coming back from work with all these things going on. There's a lot of anxiety and I have to perform. So did that. Definitely helped to curb it, but obviously not taking it for that. I did go to the gym. I wanted to go and do soccer today. I was supposed to go and do soccer in the gym, but it got rained out. So I probably will try and do that tomorrow. And again, keeping it light. We're not doing a full scrimmage. That will be Thursday. I'll make sure I eat quite a bit on Thursday. Not enough to like throw me out of the loop, but just like enough to really fuel me for the game. Um, as you know, I have been journaling before this, and the reason I set the time to be a little longer is that I did want to share something like a theme that I think has been coming up a lot that I think is relevant to this. Just this whole act of consistency and being able to stay. I'm so sorry. If it's slightly off, it bothers me. This act of consistency and being able to stay continuous with something, um, and this idea of showing my work. Like, I remember when I was a kid, and I was always a pretty bright kid. I had bright parents. My parents put me through a lot of things that I think helped me be very good in school. But something that in math that I really hated was like when the teachers would be like, show your work after after math. And for the most part, I was just kind of like, why do I need to show my work? I'm giving you the answer. And the more and more I got into this, also applied to, like, I would say not only showing your work, but like in the same sense, just prepping or just doing things thoroughly. Um, Before I wrote essays as a child, there was always this thing where you'd be like, you want to write pre-writes. You want to make sure you're having things beforehand, that you are having an outline or thinking things like, how is this story going to go? And I think the indecision of, you know, I was less for showing your work and more for the outline, just thinking about things. I'm an action. I like to do things. I like to go. I sometimes like to think, but I overthink. When I start to think, I do overthink. But for the most part, I'm very good at action. When you're acting and you're going straight through things, you don't think about the choices, but that ends up having you have to repeat things or backtrack things, or also because you're not showing your work and because you're moving so fast, you don't keep track of the things that you've done. And I feel like right now in my life, I could really use that. Like, whether it's tracking my calories every day or tracking my workouts with this new form from week to week, or tracking things at work, which I feel like being able to show my work at work has been something that I've been running into. And not only will it help other people, it's just going to help me make sense of a lot of things when I have to come back and look at things later on. So I do think the next level of my life, my next level up, does involve me showing my work, and doing things and being extremely thorough in the things I do, which would require me to take a step back and strip things away, because I would say I like to do a lot. but I want to maybe do less, but very like do a lot through a longer period of time, be able to sustain things over, this energy that I know can like make large waves. Instead, I would rather move whole oceans. Just you won't even really see that because it's a slower progress of things. The ocean moves through winds and currents that grow around the world as opposed to waves that you see that come based on like momentary like conditions of that time. So bigger picture things as opposed to smaller picture things. I also think this idea of showing your work speaks true to like the physical, and I'm getting really meta here, the physical realm, and how in this physical realm things like the scientific method and experiments are used to show that things are real and replicable. And I feel like if I'm going to be doing things, whether it's making content, whether it's, doing things in my life that are consistent, I want them to be replicable. So I can look back if I ever have to come back and say that I can do this again, that other people can do this again, whether it's this journey or anything that I'm doing, and really know that I built my legacy from being consistent and just continuing to be very thorough and showing my work. I also think this goes hand in hand with building publicly, which I think this is what I'm doing right now. It would be weird if I just showed up one day and went from one state of where I was to like where I'd like to be, just and that's all you would see. And I think that's what social media is, but I think there's just so much more worth in showing the day by day process. So, yeah, just wanted to share that. Have a lovely day. Thank you.